Okay, so let's start. We're continuing in Tinyana Memches. So we've been discussing the entrance of a person into Avodas Hashem. And Nachman told us, although the beginnings are very rough, as all beginnings are, Kol Yisrael's Kashos, the beginnings are very rough. When a person starts his Avodas Hashem, sometimes it looks like Shemayim is pushing him away. It looks like HaKadosh Baruch Hu doesn't really want his Avodah, because it's not going, even though he means well, and he's trying to daven, learn, not speak Lashon Hara, work on his midos, tovos, work on his relationships, whatever it is, it's just not going. And it's very hard for a person to begin. So Nachman told us, like we explained 2 weeks ago, Nachman told us that the Ikar Avodah is to not pay attention. Don't pay attention. What's the point? You're doing good, and just keep going. Go weiter. Don't pay attention to what it looks like to you. Because very often what it looks like to you is totally wrong. Right? That was the first Eitz Rebbe Nachman gave us. And he told us that many tzaddikim, they only got to where they got to. They only became tzaddikim because they didn't pay attention to the surroundings. They didn't pay attention to that their avodah wasn't going well. And then we spoke about last week that if a person is not able to just totally not pay attention, right? As we said, this world is very result-oriented. We're obsessed with results. We're obsessed with progress, actual progress that to the world looks like progress. So then we spoke about last week about retraining what it means, progress. So we discussed about a little child. When a little child is going from crawling to walking, and he's taking those baby steps, everybody cheers. We don't get upset at him that he hasn't started walking yet or running, because where is he holding? He's holding by barely even getting up onto the bookcase to start walking. So those baby steps is really a tremendous progress. We have to stop having these huge expectations that we're going to whatever avodah we're working on. A person wants to work on his kas. We can't expect that. That's it. I decided I'm not going to be angry anymore. I see it's not working in life. That's it. I'm not going to be angry anymore. Nothing's ever going to stop me. We have to be realistic. A person has to be realistic, and a person has to be level-headed, and needs to be happy, besimcha with every step he takes. Rebbe Nachman said when a person starts his avodah, Rebbe Nachman told us, I'll read the line again. He said, when a person enters into avodas Hashem, it becomes a tremendous aveira for a person to be depressed. Any negativity he feels about himself because of his avodah, because he doesn't feel like he's gaining, that's a tremendous aveira. In a certain way, it's not lahalacha, but it's like a kfira. You're being kofar in Hashem. You think that Hashem doesn't want your avodah. Kadosh Baruch Hu doesn't want you to serve him. No. That's a kfira. Kadosh Baruch Hu loves every single yid. Whatever the yid's holding, it doesn't matter. So always b'simchatam. Mitzvah gedol liyos b'simchatam. It's a mitzvah. It's an avera gedola k'sheish l'Atzvus. It's an avera gedola if you're depressed, but it's a mitzvah gedol liyos b'simchatam. So that's what we're holding. And before we go on, I just want to see after the Shema. Somebody gave me a book a week ago. It's called NLP. I'm not going to get into it now. I'm not advocating the book. That's not what I'm doing here. But I wanted just to read right in the beginning something that was tied in directly to what we're doing. So they have the paragraph heading is, there's no such thing as failure, only feedback. There's no such thing as failure, only feedback. So I'm going to read a little bit. I think it's very important. So it gives you a very nice perspective. As he says like this: when a child takes his or her first step, it is a result of months of movements that include pulling, pushing, turning, lifting, rolling, sitting, falling, bouncing, and standing. He has spent much more time falling than succeeding. But it does not matter. The ideas of success and failure do not exist for him or her. The child does not understand the concept of success and failure. They understand falling and getting back up, and not that it's called success and failure. That idea they don't get. They're a little kid, little baby. He is learning to walk, receiving feedback all along the way. Feedback. When he falls, he realizes, well, maybe I have to do something different. Not called a failure, it's called feedback. And when he finally takes his or her first step, he doesn't need to celebrate his or her success. The parents maybe do, but he doesn't. This child doesn't need to celebrate success. It's not about success. He also does not worry along the way about falling. For the child, there's no such thing as failure. There's only feedback. You know what this is called? It's called learning. Learning. Let that sink in. There's no failure. Everything is learning. The big Baal Musar, Volby, he has a favorite sefer called Bali Shore, and he talks about working on one's midos, kas and gaiva and simcha, all the different types of midos. And before he even starts talking about the midos, he gives a hagdama, he gives a prelude in how to work on one's midos. And he talks about a concept called hislamdus. Hislamdus means everything is about learning. When a person doesn't do what he wants, a person gets angry, he wants to work on his kas, and it doesn't work out for him, and he gets angry. He didn't fail. He's just going to learn for the next time. No such thing as failure. No such thing. It's called learning.
Faith is not considered failure. Why do we say faith is considered missing the target?
Sinning called failure. We have to say no. In a certain way, yes, but you have to. It depends. If it's going to be something that's going to knock you down, and you're going to become depressed if you call it failure, so then it's totally wrong. That's the wrong approach. If thinking that it's a failure is going to bring you to teshuva and bring you to work harder, so fine, call it a failure. But we're trying to get out of those words because it's not really 100% correct. It's learning. Even if a person sins, he still has to learn. He has to get better. Hopefully he's not poshay. He wasn't just simply negligent. He wasn't doing it b'mezid on purpose. And we're talking about a show gig. The person does it by accident. So it's learning. We all make mistakes, guys. If you do it b'mezid, we're not talking about that. We're talking about a person who's entering into avodas Hashem for real. He wants to try. He wants to strive. He wants to grow. And he's trying his best. And it doesn't look like it's going. He makes mistakes and he sins. Whatever.
We said there's somewhat like Lashon Hara, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So of course it could be amazing, but he's still working on it.
So then call it. If it's doing it amazing, but he's still working on it, so then you call it learning. He wants to get out of that status of amazing.
So it's like the mindset that a person is in.
This is
trying to get out. He slips up and falls.
Everything here is mindset. We keep talking about it. The life and death is in our mind. We create what's called failure and we call it success. Only we create it for ourselves. That's why he's trying to tell us that there's no such thing as failure and success. Since we create it, why would we want to shoot ourselves in the foot? Just call it learning, like a little child. There's no such thing as failure and success. He falls and he gets up. He's learning how to walk. So we're working on our davening. So we davened and we fell. Okay, so tomorrow I'm going to tinker a little bit. Maybe I'll prepare for a few more minutes. Or a person's working on his kavanas during the day when he's eating. And after he gulps down the entire lunch, he wakes up and like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I just did that again and again and again. Okay, I'll learn for the next time. As adults, I'll just read a little bit more. As adults, we learn about the existence of success and failure, and we learn to associate failure with all sorts of bad feelings. That's what the world says. That there's something called success and failure, and if you're a failure, then you should be depressed, and you should be angry, and this is all made up. Who made that up? Think about it. Who made up those rules? It's created by Gaiva and Taiva and Kin. It's created by bad things. It's not created a mistake.
I think that has to be added that the failure doesn't equal a non-affair, which means the person doesn't have. Of course,
I don't think it. Let's not get into sin.
It's not saying that that whether or not it's called failure or not. It's not called failure because if somebody's learning from it, but there's still whatever it is they're doing.
That's not total separation. We're not getting into that. It's not, the Indian here is not even hate, because Adam Nichnas Avodas Hashem, we're gonna talk positive. Yeah. Oh, no sins right now. That's other Torahs that we're not tshuva and don't get down. Different Torahs.
Well, it seems like he's saying also that like you're entering a new place. It's unfamiliar with you. You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of people think I'm making this decision, I'm going to be an Eved Hashem now. And then the next morning they realize like it's cold out. You know what I'm saying? They feel like if it's not shleimus all the way, then
that's what we're talking about.
Not
it's
really
retraining that we don't have to go all for gold right away. It's called learning. Would you ever expect to know the entire calculus math book if you start for one day? Or anything in Lima, anything in learning, anything. What, you're gonna master the job on the first day? No way. We're very hard on ourselves for some reason. With Avodas Hashem specifically, we're so hard on ourselves. We expect these crazy expectations of ourselves that I should be the best learner, the best learner, no lashon hara, doing these mitzvahs with proper kavanah. Because I heard one shir of a Rebbe who spoke about Dveikus with Hashem. So I could do that in Dveikus. Dveikus for a tzaddik took years and years and years. It's an amazing journey. And the journey itself is the tachlis. The journey itself is the point. The end game, that's not the point. That's a matana from Hashem. The journey itself, that's what we're talking about.
Well, so it seems like he's saying, when you enter in there, like this is going to be the way it's going to go, likely.
It's not.
Like you're going to feel
exactly.
Like,
we discussed this. This is the way. The Shemayim pushes the person off. We discussed because it builds a person's ratzon, it builds his desire. Okay, let's continue going for a second. So I'm just going to read one more line here. As human beings, we are designed to go through a natural learning process called trial and error. And if you're in business, it's called research and development. There's no such thing as failure in research and development. It's research and development. That's our whole life. We're researching ourselves and we're developing ourselves. Get that through your mind. There's no such thing as a chisaron. There's no such thing as something lacking. There's no such thing as a failure. We're researching, we're developing, we're learning ourselves. Trial and error. Don't associate bad feelings. Don't let the outside world influence us to think, if I'm a failure, so I should feel bad about myself. We succeed when we pay attention to the feedback. Every moment of life, there's feedback, depending on what happened based on what you did. Pay attention. Pay attention to how you feel. Pay attention to what other people feel when you talk to them. We have to pay attention. We need the feedback. But if we start interpreting errors as personal failure, you take it to heart, then we're going to interfere with this process. Then the feedback is going to start getting personal. When people start taking things personally, we all know things go bad. Don't take it so personal, right? That's when someone wants to say like a musar to somebody, don't take it so personally, but of course they're going to take it personally.
No disrespect,
but the truth is, if a person, a real Eved Hashem, he wants rebuke. It's a high level. A real Eved Hashem, from the right person, he wants to be rebuked because he wants to know he's doing wrong. He wants to grow. There's no chisaron in me. A person tells me that I'm a balkat. I get angry all the time. So I could either, I can't believe it, or I'm so embarrassed. Or I could say, you're right. I'm working on it. You're right. I do get angry. I do have some times of guy that's true. But I'm working on it. What's there to feel better? I'm working on it. Guy tells me, you didn't get that math problem right. I'll say, I know. This is the first day that I'm learning this. You got to give me one more day. I gotta catch on. I'm not embarrassed. I'm learning. Research and development. R&D. This is the way. And without feedback, we'll continue to make the same mistakes over and over again. So that ties in exactly to what we're doing here now. Exactly. So let's continue. So the next line here is could be the most important line in Avodas Hashem in your entire life. If you can master this line, you're good to go. You ready for this? I just built it up a lot, right? If anybody has any questions, please ask. Here we go. We're up to the words Vitzarech. On page 186, if you have the the Breslov Research Institute edition, page 186.
Is one of 186s.
What do you mean?
186 was good, 92, and number 48.
Likutey Moharan 2, 48, page 186. Here we go. V'tzarech lihiyos action gadol b'avodas Hashem. This is it. A person has to be stubborn in his avodas Hashem. Usually, that's a bad midah. Bad midah. Akshanas. Being stubborn, stiff-necked. Hashem said to Moshe Rabbeinu, your people are an am kishei orif. They're stiff-necks. They don't want to do tshuva. They don't want to admit. But we know that midos, kas is a midah, simcha is a midah. Midos, there's no such thing as a good midah, a bad midah. Midah means, what does it mean in English? Midah means measure. So everything has the proper measure. There's the time for gaiva in avodas Hashem. There's a time for akshanas, to be stubborn in avodas Hashem. That you're not going to give in to what it looks like that Shemaim pushing away. No, I don't care what Shemaim says. I'm going right there. You have to be stubborn. B'tzarech is action go to avodas Hashem. Don't give up any progress you've made. Like we just said, you have to pay attention to your feedback. You have to pay attention to your progress. Don't give up an inch. You gained one word in Shemona Esrei that you did with Kavanah. You gained one Maisa that you did with Kavanah. You gave one act of Chesed. You gave a Dalet Zak. Dahainu Ma'at Mixes Avodas Hashem. Even that little bit of avodah that you started, Afin Yavor Lavma, doesn't matter what comes upon a person after that. Hold on to that level. Even if you went up a microscopic inch, it doesn't matter. Because from where you were holding, that inch that you gained was tremendous. And you should be besimcha about that. And don't give up on that. Be in action. To be stubborn and hold on and say, no, I'm going to go again. I'm going to do this avodah again. I don't care that I fell. Again and again and again. Besimcha. Because it's called trial and error. It's called unlearning. And this is the most important limud. This is the most important book I'm ever going to learn. It's the book of my own life. I can't give up on myself. And I'm learning. Who knows how long it takes? A person picks an avodah. He picks an avodah of he wants to smile at people during the day. It's a tremendous mitzvah. It's a tremendous mitzvah. It's a life changer that everybody used to use smile. Right? I live in a place where you see people, they don't smile so much. And I have a game where I walk around specifically on Shabbos and I smile to people and I say a good Shabbos, and I like to see the reaction. Sometimes it takes them by surprise, why are you smiling at me? Not sure why. But a person wants to take upon himself this avodah of smiling. You have to go strong. And don't give up on anything. You work hard on it. Uzachor davar zehetiv. Says Reb Nachman, you have to remember this very well. You need this midah of akshanas. You need this stubbornness a lot. Even when you enter into a little bit of avodas Hashem, it's only the akshanas, the stubbornness, that's going to continually push you and give you that ratzon to continue going. This is our life. This is our life. You know, I like to point out to people that there's a sefer called the Tur. The Tur was before the Shulchan Aruch. We all know that in Halacha, there's the Shulchan Aruch, and everybody in Klal Yisrael follows the Shulchan Aruch. Now, there was a sefer before the Shulchan Aruch called the Tur. The Tur, the first halacha that he brings down in his sefer, he quotes a Mishnah in Pirkei Avos. Be strong as a lion. Reb Yirmy Ginsberg says, be strong as a lion, be as bold as a leopard, al kanamer, kal kanesher, be as light as an eagle, and ratz katzvi, and run like a deer. What? To be an Eved Hashem. To serve a Kadosh Baruch Hu. Be strong like a lion, fight against your taivus. Be kal kanesher, don't look at things you shouldn't look at. Ratz katzvi, be a zaras, run fast, alacrities, rizas. But says the Tur, what's the most important midah? Some might think the lion is the strongest. You have to get up in the morning like a lion. Some people say maybe it's zrizas. He says, Oz Kanamer. Be bold as a leopard. Now, this is the first halacha. Halacha is holich, to go. Right? Halacha means you're going in life with this. What's Oz Kanamer? So he brings down, Oz Kanamer means that if you're starting in Avodas Hashem, there might come a time where people mock you. They ridicule you. They make fun of you, like, who do you think you are? Or whatever they might say to you. Oz Kanamer means, bold as a leopard, I don't care what you're telling me. I'm going right there. Oz Kanamer, he says, that's the most important midah. Because he says, how many people have tried, they started Avodas Hashem, and because of one ridicule, one comment, they threw the whole thing away. So Oz Kanamer, to be bold against outside sources, but what does it also mean? It means Oz Kanamer within yourself as well. How often does a person in his own mind, he plays games and himself, I can't believe I did it again, I'm such a loser, I'm a lo yitzlach, I'm yayish, I'm depressed, because I thought I could do it, but I can't do it, look at everybody else. It's all in his mind. Oz Kanamer says, no. The first halacha, in all of the Torah, the first halacha says, no, don't pay attention to your thoughts. In this regard, negativity, out of here. Oz Kanamer, be bold as a leopard, be in action. Be stubborn dikdusha. It's called Ozus dikdusha, be bold for kedusha. So we have akshanas dikdusha, be stubborn for kedusha. Nothing can stop me. So the Rebbe Nachman says, you need this more than anything else. This is what's going to continually push us for again and again. Let's go weiter. Kitzarach says Rebbe Nachman, Kitzarach akshanas gadol ma'od ma'od. Person needs to be very stubborn. Yos chazak v'amitz, to be very strong. Le'echos atzma, to hold himself. L'amod al amdu, to hold his position. He's fighting a war. Every inch in a war is tremendous. And whatever you gain, whatever position you have to hold on. So even if they make him fall, who's they? Let's read one more line. Every line in this Torah you have to be omed on. You have to delve into. Sometimes there are sometimes that they make a person fall in Avodas Hashem. Who's they? Who's this? Who are you talking about? Shemayim. Talking about Shemayim. Talking about HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Sometimes HaKadosh Baruch Hu makes a person fall. There's a Gemara that tells us about the conversation that Moshe Rabbeinu had with HaKadosh Baruch Hu after the Chet Eiv. We know, unfortunately, right after we received the Torah, only a few days later, Klal Yisrael had this major sin. They made a golden calf. It was a tremendous pagam in Klal Yisrael. And HaKadosh Baruch Hu wanted to destroy all of them. And he tells Moshe, I'm going to start everything again with you. So the Gemara tells us a little bit about the conversation. Because we know Moshe Rabbeinu, he always stuck up for us. So the Gemara tells us like this. You know what Moshe said? Moshe said to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, now I don't suggest anybody ever do this. He said, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, it's your fault. It's your fault that Klal Yisrael sinned by Egel's up. Your fault? What did he mean? He said, you gave them so much. I'll tell you what's on. The Gemara says a mashal. The mashal is like this. It says, imagine a person has a child, 16 years old, 17 years old, and you make him smell nice, and you give him a bath, and you put around his neck a pouch that has money. This is what the Gemara says. And you put him in front of a Beis Zona, in front of a house of inappropriateness. What do you expect is going to happen? The kid looks good, he smells good, he has money. What do you expect is going to happen? So Moshe Rabbeinu says to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, could you imagine? HaKadosh Baruch Hu, by the Yam Suf we know, Klal Yisrael became the wealthiest. Why? Because all Paro's men, their chariots were full of gold and silver and jewels. And when they drowned in the Yam Suf, the water spit out all the treasures, all the gold, and Klal Yisrael gathered up, became the most wealthy nation. So what did you expect, he says to Hashem? What did you expect them to do? That all this gold, I left them. It was confusing. You know, Egel Zav, that's like the thing to do in the desert. Like, what do you expect from them? I'm not going to get into the Gemara, into the details, but if Tzadok learns from this, and this is what the Gemara is saying clear, that sometimes a Kadosh Baruch Hu makes people fail. There's no answer. Kilo Hashem was masking to that. Whatever that means. Moshe Ben had a time. Kadosh Baruch Hu, you made them fail. It's your fault. But the question is, Kadosh Baruch Hu never does bad. It's always for good. It's always for us to grow. So what's the avoda? It can't be that Hashem puts us into a test that we can't pass. Can't be. But the Gemara says it can be. What? So that's asking for depression, because then I'm going to go through my entire life. Anytime I fail, I'm just going to blame it on Hashem. You made me do it. Your fault. How do we learn this Gemara? So what I think is like this, is that we don't know what the tests are. It was up. That wasn't a test. They were doomed for failure. The test of this child was not to control himself. It was impossible. The test is, what do you do the next morning? Are you depressed? Or are you going to say, no, I'm going to get better? The test wasn't the Maisa. That you were doomed. Hashem put you in a position it was impossible to pass. And don't worry, you're not going to get in trouble for that. The question is, what's your reaction? That's your test. Are you going to say, Kadosh Baruch Hu, look what you did to me, I'm at it, I'm done with this? Or are you going to stay strong and you're going to say, I'm going to go fight today? Does that make sense? Why don't you like it?
That's true.
That's true what?
That you have to test this often when you do the next day. But like it was up. It wasn't the next day. It got hit at that day. It's a few hours later. What's what next day?
I heard that it was.
We can't get into the details because was it all classes, was it not all classes, so on. But the Indian is from that Gemara is you see from there that Hashem makes people. It seems like that Hashem makes people fail. So how do we understand that when all the other Torahs that we hear is Hashem will never put you into a test that you can't pass? Right? Everybody's heard that growing up, and that gives us chizuk. There's no test I can't pass. But the Gemara says there is a test you can't pass. So what's that's a steer. So the question is, the answer is, it's not, you don't know what the test is. That's not for you to decide.
Well,
we have to do our own.
So you can always know what the test is.
In a certain way, yeah, what do you mean?
I mean that.
Have a moon in the Kadosh Baruch Hu that all is good, I'm going to go fight it. Exactly. But that's always the test. Every moment, every moment that Hashem does good, and it's going to be good, and I'm going to be good, and I'm going to try, and I'm going to learn, I'm going to work. That's what we're getting at. That's
There's also, like, let's say, take the Eagle, where I remember learning somewhere that the test was they were going to give up their stuff, but was it a fight to give it up? Or did they give it up like, amazing, take the stuff?
Okay, it's different. I don't want to get, I'm going with the Gemara. Yes, you can break down that Ma'isa, the Eil Zav, and talk about different parts.
I'm saying there might be something which is doomed to happen. You know, I'm going to fail this thing, but, you know, am I enjoying
was I enjoyed it? Was I bothered by it? That's true. When a person is put into a test that he can't pass, like let's say the mice he can't pass. The Eagles was, let's just say, like the Gemara says, it was impossible for them not to have made it. But were they happy about it? Were they sad about it? That's also, you're right, that's true. That's also part of it. That also, a person would shrug off like, that can't be the test. The test was we failed. No. The test was what's your reaction during the act and after the act? What's your reaction? How do you feel about this? It's an important rule. Because sometimes Shammai makes you fail. But it's not for bad. It's Adarab. It's to make us bigger. Because if a person can fall and get back up and not lose it, not get depressed, he becomes stronger. When a person falls and he gets back up, he feels even better. A person wants to start a diet. Okay, he starts the diet. Day 1 is good. Day 2 is good. And now, day 3, he takes a hit. Right? He ate too many points on his on his account. Right? They have those diets for points. And so now he gets depressed. he feels bad. And it looks like, from the outside, right, we're looking down on this person, looks like he's going to lose it. He's going to chuck it like, 90% of people who start to die. And then he thinks it's no, I want this. This is important by me. So I made a mistake. No, we don't make mistakes. And he says the next day he starts fresh. And the whole day he's good. He feels so good about himself because he could have lost it. And Adrabi, he was mizgaber on that. He had others, he had akshonas. He says, no, I'm not paying attention to that. And he started again, and he feels great. And now he learned, well, maybe I shouldn't go to that place. I should go to that restaurant. Instead of just throwing out the window, he started again. So Rebbe Nachman says like this. So we need akshonas, because sometimes we get thrown down. Third line here.
So is this only by Shemayim, or is it other people?
Shemayim sends it. Shemayim sends it, whether it's another person, however he sends it. Afal P came, says Rebbe Nachman, even though this is true that sometimes you get thrown down, Olav Lasas as Shalom. A person has to do his. Lasas Mashi Yuchal B'Avodas Hashem. Do whatever you can B'Avodas Hashem. If you can't pass the actual Maisa, then react appropriately. React with emunah. Do what you can do in this situation. There's no situation in which a person is totally, his hands are tied. You can always react appropriately. Don't fall totally. Chas v'shalom. This is exactly what we're saying. A person gets thrown down, very easily he could just say, I'm giving up, that's it, it's over. Ripo legami, he fell legami. And Nachman says, no, there's always something to do. There's always something to do. Even if it looks like I failed, I didn't fail, because where's the test? Does it make sense? It's a sensitive point, and it's very important. We have to get into our mind. Within a test, there's so many different tests. And therefore we have to react accordingly, appropriately. Kikol elu hanafilas, listen to this line. Kikol elu hanafilas v'hayiridas v'habilbulim. All the times a person falls and he's so confused. Ukeyotzev and anything like this, tzrichim behechreach lavor behen. A person absolutely needs to go through these things. You cannot grow unless you fall. You cannot come to a yishuv hadas, a calmness, unless you've gone through a bilbul. That's called learning. That's how a person grows. Again, let's read that line. It's impossible for a person to get to the shari kedusha of his life. He wants to get to the gateways of kedusha. He cannot get to it unless he falls and gets back up. Unless he has bilbulim, unless he has manias, he has obstacles, and he gets back up. There is no straight path. The path is always ups and downs. It's called a learning curve. Call whatever you want. Trial and error. All the emes dikat tzaddikim went through this. If a person claims that he didn't go through ups and downs, then it can't be his tzaddik emes. He had to have gone through ups and downs. On his level, we don't know what they are. That's not for us to judge. But everybody goes through ups and downs. There's no other way. Yes? Have any questions? But it takes serious mindfulness. It takes serious awareness of avodah. When a person says Kishin, when a person wants to enter into avodas Hashem, he's now entering a war, a very holy and amazing war, but it's a war. And you have to know every moment what's coming your way. And every test is not just one, it's made up of so many tests. Because there's the actual Maisa, a person who wants to say some Lashon Hara to you. So there's the actual Lashon Hara, and then there's the reaction to the Lashon Hara, and there's the how do you deal with the person who speaks. There's so many things that come in. You need to be holding cup. and not lose the fact that you could be someone who's gaining in so many different areas, little areas, even though at the end of the day you listen to the Lashon Hara. Yeah, but you tried to push him off for 5 minutes. So what? So we should throw out that 5 minutes? No, that was huge. A person doesn't want to talk in the first 5 minutes of his learning. A person wants to come daven 5 minutes early. Okay, so then the whole davening was, he didn't pay attention. But he came 5 minutes early. We can't expect so much. We have to know we're entering into a war, and every inch is tremendous. I hope I'm explaining this appropriately. You have to think about these things. When a person enters into something in Avodas Hashem, he needs to plan. He needs to plan. He needs to pay attention. He has to also write down what are the obstacles that may come my way. A person goes into a business meeting with a plan, and he goes into a business meeting, option B and C if option A doesn't work. If he comes in with a plan about what happens if he's going to win in the business meeting, he's prepared. You can't enter into Avodas Hashem ma'abakach, like this is like a joke. It's the most amazing thing in the world, and it's the most geschmack. But it's the most geschmack when you're prepared. Prepared to be in action. Prepared to be stubborn. Prepared for ups and downs. Yeah? It's ultimately dependent on one main midah. It's called ratzon. The deep desire of a person to grow is the engines, it's the batteries of a person to be this action. I really, really want this. I really, really want this. Like a little kid, he really, really wants a toy. They get it. Because when they really want it, they whine and they kick and they scream. And eventually you have to give in. So in a certain way, if it's for the best, by Kadosh Baruch Hu as well. Somebody say, no, Kadosh Baruch Hu, I need to daven with kavan. I can't do this anymore. 3 times a day I'm coming and I'm just facing it. I can't do this anymore. And you kick and you scream and you whine until you get it. You try. You don't just. Whine doesn't just mean crying. It does mean crying, but not like a tantrum. Like a tantrum. It means you try and you say, Kadosh Baruch, I'm not going anywhere. I'm not leaving this world until you let me daven with kavan. And I feel what Rabbi Nachman talks about tefillah and what the Baal Shem felt in tefillah. I'm not stopping. I'm not stopping. And then once in a while, Kadosh Baruch Hu gives you like a little bit of like a zap of what it feels like to daven well or learn well, and then you get this feeling like, whoa, that's it. And then maybe the next day you don't daven so well, but you never forget that feeling. You never forget that feeling. One time you come to a Shabbos davening, and it's the sun's going down just right, and the Chadodi is so beautiful, and everybody's singing and dancing. And you felt this, a Shabbos like you've never felt before. Everybody's had that once in their life. You'll never forget that Shabbos. And you'll always be looking to get that again. Always looking to get that again. And a person has to be in action to get that back. Okay. Let's go a little bit longer. A little bit more here. Any questions? Anybody have any questions? Good. Sounds good on paper, but we have to. Tomorrow morning, we have to do it. Let's do it right now.
The night's still young, man.
The night's still young. We have to start right now. V'da sheyesh echad shekvar hu eitz al pesach shel kedusha. This is a scary line. It says around you have to know that there could be a person. He's 1 inch away from that opening of Kedusha. He's worked miles upon miles. He's killed himself. He's right at the door. But there's some big bilbo that he gets involved with right by the door. He doesn't realize he's by the door. He doesn't even realize. He doesn't realize that this bilbo is it. And he says, you know what, that's it. I'm done. He doesn't realize, no, that's it. This is the last one. And he turns around and walks away. And all the malachim just put their hands on him and say, no, they're screaming, don't go back. Go weiter. Because you never know. You never know where you're holding, where you might get to next. Says Reb Nachman, Osha Zayki Shusamach Eitzel Pesach, or a person's very close, very, very close to the Pesach, and then what happens? I'll end with this today. The other side, he comes with a strong power. The Habal Dover mode, he comes with the Yitzhak comes explosion. Nachman al-Tzlan, the Hizgabas Gadol v'Nor mode, he comes with a tremendous power, especially at this last moment, right by the door, Nachman al-Tzlan. He doesn't let you enter in. And for that reason, the person goes back. Chas Hashem. Hashem, we should work hard. We should learn. We should learn what it means to progress in Avodas Hashem. Not to be so makbid on ourselves. Not to pay attention to what it feels like. We have to have proper learning who we are in Avodas Hashem. We should grow and continue. Anyone have any questions? Continue next week, Avodas Hashem.
It seems like he always comes.
Okay.
I had the sense of how the other should